And I'm live. Yep. Hello, good evening. Welcome to Read with Chide this evening. I'm super excited and I don't know why. Um, Typically I'm a happy child, right? But today I'm just super excited. And funny thing is, about 30 minutes ago I was feeling so tired. I felt like I could sleep for like call it a night at around 8:30. But here I am about to start reading my Bible and I'm so excited. I don't know. I honestly don't know why I'm excited. Maybe it's full birthday countdown vibes or I don't know. The joy of the Lord is my strength, eh? Welcome to day 58 of Read with Chide. Today we're reading Numbers chapter 15, Numbers chapter 16, and Mark chapter 6. Um, I hope you've been following. I hope that you're up to date. If you are watching this as a replay, I hope that it is because you took your time to catch up with the days you have missed. Yeah, welcome, and please do well to share this link with your friends and loved ones, everyone who you think will benefit from this type of reading the Bible together, because that helps with accountability, helps with making it a bit more interesting, especially in these books you're currently reading, numbers and stuff like that. Also, do well to ensure you are subscribed and you click the bell icon so that you are notified every single time that we are live. On that note, we'll get right into it. Numbers chapter 15, verse 1. And the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, Speak unto the children of Israel, and say unto them, when ye be come into the land of your habitations, which I give unto you, and you make an offering by fire unto the Lord, a burnt offering, or a sacrifice in performing a vow, or in a freewill offering, or in your solemn feasts, to make a sweet savour unto the Lord of the herd, or of the flock, then shall he that offereth his offering unto the Lord bring a meat offering of a tenth deal of flour mingled with the fourth part of an hin of oil, and the fourth part of an hin of wine for a drink offering shall thou prepare with the burnt offering or sacrifice for one lamb. Or for a ram thou shalt prepare for a meat offering 2/10 deal 2/10 deals of flour mingled with the third part of an hin of oil. And for a drink offering thou shalt offer the third part of an hin of wine for a sweet savour unto the Lord. And when thou preparest a bullock for a burnt offering, or for a sacrifice in performance of a vow, or peace offerings unto the Lord, then shall he bring with a bullock a meat offering of 3/10 deal of flour mingled with half an hin of oil, and thou shalt bring for a drink offering half an hin of oil of wine for an offering made by fire for a sweet savour unto the Lord. Thou shalt thou shalt Thus shall it be done for one bullock, or for one ram, or for a lamb, or for a kid. According to the number that ye shall prepare, so shall ye do to everyone according to their number. All that are born of the country shall do these things all after this manner, in offering an offering made by fire of a sweet savour unto the Lord. And if a stranger sojourn with you, or whosoever be among you in your generations, and will offer an offering made by fire of a sweet savour unto the Lord, as ye do, so shall he do. One ordinance shall be both for you and for the congregation, both for you of the congregation and also for the stranger that sojourneth with you. So it doesn't matter if the person is not one of you, by heritage, but if they are living among you and they choose to do these things, it's the same law, right? And also, one ordinance shall be both for the congregation and also for the stranger that sojourneth with you. An ordinance forever in your generations as ye are, so shall the stranger be before the Lord. One law, one manner shall be for you and for the stranger that sojourneth with you. And the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, Unto them when ye come, saying, Speak unto the children of Israel, and say unto them, when ye come into the land whither I bring you. Then it shall be that when ye eat of the bread of the land, ye shall offer up an heave offering unto the Lord. You shall offer up a cake of the first of your dough for an heave offering, as ye do the heave offering of the threshing floor, so shall ye heave it. Of the first of your dough ye shall give unto the Lord an heave offering in your generations. And if ye have erred and not observed all these commandments which the Lord hath spoken unto Moses, even all that the Lord hath commanded you by the hand of Moses, from the day, excuse me, from the day that the Lord commanded Moses, and henceforth among your generations, then it shall be, if aught be committed by ignorance without the knowledge of the congregation, that all the congregation shall offer one salver unto the Lord, which is meat, with his meat offering and his drink offering, according to the manner of one kid of the goat for a sin offering. And the priest shall make an atonement for all the congregation of the children of Israel, and it shall be forgiven them for it is ignorance. And they shall bring their offering, a sacrifice made by fire unto the Lord, and their sin offering before the Lord for their ignorance. And it shall be forgiven all the congregation of the children of Israel, and the stranger that sojourneth among them, seeing all the people were in ignorance. And if any soul through ignorance, then if any soul sin through ignorance, then he shall bring a she goat of the first year for a sin offering. And the priest shall make an atonement for the soul that sinneth ignorantly, when he sinneth by ignorance before the Lord, to make an atonement for him, and it shall be forgiven him. Ye shall have one law for him that sinneth through ignorance, both for him that is born among the children of Israel and for the stranger that sojourneth among them. But the soul that doeth aught presumptuously, whether he be born in the land or a stranger, the same reproacheth the Lord, and that soul shall be cut off from among his people, because he hath despised the word of the Lord, and he hath broken his commandments. That soul shall utterly be cut off; his iniquity shall be upon him. And while the children of Israel were in the wilderness, they found a man that gathered sticks upon the Sabbath day. And they that found him gathering sticks brought him unto Moses and Aaron and unto all the congregation, and they put him inward, because it was not declared what should be done to him. And the Lord said unto Moses, the man shall surely be put to death. All the congregation shall stone him with stones without the camp. And all the congregation brought him without the camp and stoned him with stones, and he died, as the Lord commanded Moses. Like, when I read these things, I'm like, hard to imagine, to be honest, because what? Verse 37, and the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, speak unto the children of Israel, and bid them that they may make them fringes in the borders of their garments throughout their generations, and that they put upon the fringe of the borders a riband of blue. And it shall be unto you for a fringe, that ye may look upon it and remember all the commandments of the Lord and do them, and that ye seek not after your own heart and your own eyes, after which ye use to go a whoring, that ye may remember and do all my commandments, and be holy unto your God. I am the Lord your God, which brought you out of the land of Egypt to be your God. I am the Lord your God. Numbers chapter 16, verse 1. Now Korah, the son of Izhar, the son of Kohath, the son of Levi, and Dathan and Abiram, the sons of Eliab, and On, the son of Peleth, sons of Reuben, took men. And they rose up before Moses with certain of the children of Israel, 250 princes of the assembly, famous in the congregation, men of renown. And they gathered themselves together against Moses and against Aaron, and said unto them, Ye take too much upon you, seeing all the congregation are holy, every one of them, and the Lord is among them. Wherefore then lift ye up yourselves above the congregation of the Lord. Yay! Really? Do you remember primary school? Primary school, if you were ever class captain in primary school, this must have happened to you. There must have been a time when some members of your class would stand up and rebel against you. I'd be like, what is it safe? Every time you're writing names of noisemaker, is it only you? Why are you writing ×2 on my name? Who sent you? Did the class teacher tell you to write names of noisemaker? You just like to write names of... That's what this feels like. Because are they blind? Did they not see all that God did through Moses and why God has, placed him and Aaron where he has placed them? And they are saying, you do too much. Verse 4. And when Moses heard it, he fell upon his face, and he spake unto Korah and unto all the company, saying, even tomorrow the Lord will show who are his. The Lord will show who are his. I feel like a death is about to happen in this their camp. I can smell it coming. Korah and all his guys, they're about to die. Because Old Testament, nah. Even tomorrow the Lord will show he will show who are his and who is holy, and will cause him to come near unto him. Even him whom he hath chosen will he cause to come near unto him. These two, take you censers, Korah and all his company, and put fire therein, and put incense in them before the Lord tomorrow. And it shall be that the man whom the Lord doth choose, he shall be holy. Ye take too much upon you, ye sons of Levi. And Moses said unto Korah, hear, I pray you, ye sons of Levi, seemeth it but a small thing unto you that the God of Israel hath separated you from the congregation of Israel, to bring you near to himself, to do the service of the tabernacle of the Lord, and to stand before the congregation to minister unto them? And he hath brought thee near to him, and all thy brethren, the sons of Levi, with thee, and seek ye the priesthood also? For which cause both thou and all thy company are gathered together against the Lord. And what is Aaron that ye murmur against him? And Moses sent to call Dathan and Abiram, the sons of Eliab, which said, we will not come up. Is it a small thing that thou hast brought us up out of the land that floweth with milk and honey, to kill us in the wilderness, except thou make thyself altogether a prince over us? One would think that at this point where God has not just brought them out of Egypt, we've gone through the whole Moses going up to get the 10 commandments and then worshiping the idol, and him breaking the tablets and going back to get it again, and God giving them instructions for tabernacles, what to do, how to build it, the types of offering to make, and all of these laws. And then you would think that by this time they would have gotten over that story of, you brought us out of Egypt where we saw cucumber and garlic, and now you have brought us to the wilderness to die. But alas, they are still in that mindset. They said, is it a small thing, in verse 13, is it a small thing that thou hast brought us out of the land that floweth with milk and honey? This is the term that God used for the land he's taking them into. This is the term God used for the promised land, a land flowing with milk and honey. But they are referring to the land of their captivity as the land flowing with milk and honey. Do you know what it takes to refer to your captivity as the land flowing with milk and honey? Verse 14. Moreover, thou hast not brought us into a land that floweth with milk and honey, or given us inheritance of fields and vineyards. Will thou put out the eyes of these men? We will not come up. So the word of God is not enough for these people. You remember a few chapters ago, Moses sent people to go and spy the land. All of them came back and said, there are giants in the land. We were like grasshoppers in our sight and also in their sight, except for Joshua and Caleb, that said, no, we can conquer the land. Indeed, as God said, the land is flowing with milk and honey. We can go and conquer the land even today, because the fear of the Lord is in them. That'll be the fear of us, rather. Let's continue. Verse 15. And Moses was very wroth, and said unto the Lord, respect not thou their offering. I have not taken one ass from them, neither have I hurt one of them. And Moses said unto Korah, be thou and all thy company before the Lord, thou and they and Aaron tomorrow, and take every man his censer, and put incense in them, and bring ye before the Lord every man his censer, 250 censers, thou also, and Aaron, each of you his censer. And they took every man his censer, and put fire in them, and laid incense thereupon, and stood in the door of the tabernacle of the congregation with Moses and Aaron. Right? So the censer thing that in the Catholic faith, that the priests use to um burn incense in the church, that it's handheld like this. Verse, where are we now? Verse 18. And they took every man his censer and put fire in them and laid incense thereon, and stood in the door of the tabernacle of the congregation with Moses and Aaron. And Korah gathered all the congregation against them unto the door of the tabernacle of the congregation, and the glory of the Lord appeared unto all the unto all the congregation. Verse 20. And the Lord spake unto Moses and unto Aaron, saying, Separate yourselves from among this congregation, that I may consume them in a moment. And they fell upon their faces and said, O God, the God of the spirits of all flesh, come, shall one man sin, and will thou wrath with all the congregation? Shall you say Moses? And the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, Speak unto the congregation, saying, Get you up from about the tabernacle of Korah, Dathan, and Abiram. And Moses rose up and went unto Dathan and Abiram, and the elders of Israel followed him. And he spake unto the congregation, saying, Depart, I pray you, from the tents of these wicked men, and touch nothing of theirs, lest ye be consumed in all their sins. So they got up from the tabernacle of Korah, Dathan, and Abiram on every side, and Dathan and Abiram came out and stood in the door of their tents, and their wives, and their sons, and their little children. And Moses said, Hereby ye shall know that the Lord hath sent me to do all these works. For I have not done them of mine own mind. If these men die the common death of all men, or if they be visited after the visitation of all men, I'm literally getting scared to continue reading. Then the Lord hath not sent me. But if the Lord shall make a new thing, and the earth open her mouth and swallow them up, with all that pertains unto them, and they go down quick into the pit, then ye shall understand that these men have provoked the Lord. And it came to pass, as he had made an end of speaking all these words, that the ground clave asunder, and that was under them, and the earth opened her mouth and swallowed them up and their houses, and all the men that appertained unto Korah, and all their goods, and all that appertained to them went down alive into the pit. And the earth closed upon them, and they perished from among the congregation. And all Israel that were round about them fled at the cry of them, for they said, Let the earth swallow us up also. And there came out a fire from the Lord and consumed the 250 men that offered incense. And the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, Speak unto Eleazar, the son of Aaron, the priest, that he take up the censers out of the burning, and scatter thou the fire yonder, for they are hallowed. The censers of these sinners against their own soul, let them make them broad plates for a covering of the altar, for they offered them before the Lord, therefore they are hallowed. And they shall be a sign unto the children of Israel. And Eleazar the priest took the brazen censers, wherewith they that were burnt had offered, and they were made broad plates for a covering of the altar, to be a memorial unto the children of Israel, that no stranger which is not of the seed of Aaron come near to offer incense before the Lord, and that he be not as Korah and his company, as the Lord said to him by the hand of Moses. But on the morrow, all the congregation of the children of Israel murmured against Moses and against Aaron, saying, Ye have killed the people of the Lord. And it came to pass, when the congregation was gathered against Moses and against Aaron, that they looked toward the tabernacle of the congregation, and behold, the cloud covered it, and the glory of the Lord appeared. And Moses and Aaron came before the tabernacle of the congregation, and the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, Get you up from among this congregation, that I may consume them in a moment. And they fell upon their faces yet again. And Moses said unto Aaron, Take a censer and put fire therein from off the altar, and put on incense, and go quickly into the congregation, and make an atonement for them, for there is wrath gone out from the Lord, the plague is begun. And Aaron took as Moses had commanded, and ran into the midst of the congregation, and behold, the plague had begun among the people. And he put on incense and made an atonement for the people. And he stood between the dead and the living, and the plague was stayed. Now they that died in the plague were 14,700, beside them that died about the matter of Korah. And Aaron returned unto Moses unto the door of the tabernacle of the congregation, and the plague was stayed. Um, let's move quickly to Mark chapter 6. When God has chosen someone, and these people are trying to be smarter than themselves, saying, is it only you? See the results. Stay where God has planted you. Shine brightly where God has planted you. But never look into another man's compound and say, why is his own grass greener? I beg you. Mark chapter 6 from verse 1. And he went out from thence and came into his own country, and his disciples followed him. And when the Sabbath day was come, he began to teach in the synagogue, and many hearing him were astonished, saying, from whence hath this man these things? And what wisdom is this which is given unto him, that even such mighty works are wrought by his hands? Is it not? Is not this the carpenter, the son of Mary, the brother of James and Joseph, and of Judah and Simon, and not his sisters here with us? Are not his sisters here with us? And they were offended at him. But Jesus said unto them, a prophet is not without honor, but in his own country, and among his own kin, and in his own house. May we not ever get so familiar with people who have been given spiritual authority over us that we lose out. Verse 5, and he could there do no mighty work, save that he laid hands on a few sick and healed them. And he marveled because of their unbelief. And he went round about the villages teaching. And he called unto him the 12, and began to send them forth by two and two, and gave them power over unclean spirits, and commanded them that they should take nothing for their journey, save a staff only, no scrip, no bread, no money in their purse. But he shod his sandals, he shod, but be shod with sandals, and not put on two coats. And he said unto them, in what place soever ye enter into a house, there abide till ye depart from that place. And whosoever shall not receive you, nor hear you when ye depart thence, shake off the dust under your feet for a testimony against them. Verily I say unto you, it shall be more tolerable for Sodom and Gomorrah in the day of judgment than for that city. And they went out and preached that men should repent. And they cast out many devils, and anointed with oil many that were sick, and healed them. And King Herod heard of him, for his name was spread abroad. And he said, that John the Baptist was risen from the dead, and therefore mighty works do show forth themselves in him. Others said, this is Elias, that's Elijah. And others said, that is a prophet, or as one of the prophets. But when Herod heard thereof, he said, it is John. How is it John? It is John whom I beheaded. He is risen from the dead. For Herod himself had sent forth and laid hold upon John, and bound him in prison for Herodias' sake, his brother Philip's wife, for he had married her. For John had said unto Herod, it is not lawful for thee to have thy brother's wife. Therefore Herodias had a quarrel against him, and would have killed him, but she could not. But Herod feared John, knowing that he was a man, a just man, and unholy, and observed him. And when he heard him, he did many things, and heard him gladly. And when a convenient day was come, that Herod on his birthday made a supper to his lords, high captains, and chief estates of Galilee. And when the daughter of the said Herodias came in and danced, and pleased Herod, the damsel, and pleased Herod and them that sat with him, the king said unto the damsel, ask of me whatsoever thou wilt, and I will give it unto thee. And he sware unto her, whatsoever thou shalt ask of me, I will give it to thee unto the half of my kingdom. And she went forth and said unto her mother, what shall I ask? And she said, the head of John the Baptist. And she came in straightway with haste unto the king, and said, and asked, saying, I will that thou give me by and by in a charger the head of John the Baptist. And the king was exceedingly sorry. And the king was exceedingly sorry, yet for his own oath's sake, and for their sake which sat with him, he would not reject her. And immediately the king sent an executioner and commanded his head to be brought. And he went and beheaded him in the prison, and brought his head in a charger and gave it to the damsel, and the damsel gave it to her mother. And when his disciples heard of it, they came and took his corpse and laid it in a tomb. And the apostles gathered themselves together unto Jesus, and the apostles gathered themselves together unto Jesus and told him all these things, both what they had done and what they had taught. And he said unto them, come ye yourselves apart into a desert place and rest a while, for there were many coming and going, and they had no leisure to so must they had no leisure so much as to eat. Christiana, see how they ask you, how they tell you to go and ask for somebody's head and you to go and ask. See, may we not have evil mothers. This is her mother. The woman did not suddenly become evil when she wanted John's head. She had always been evil. She's the one that gave birth to this girl. She's the one that raised the girl until this point. So don't be shocked that at this point they were already in tandem. Anyway, verse 31. And he said unto them, come ye yourselves apart into a desert place and rest a while, for there were many coming and going, and they had no leisure so much as to eat. And they departed into a desert place by ship privately. And the people saw them departing, and many knew him, and ran afoot thither out of all the cities, and outwent them, and came together unto him. And Jesus, when he came out, saw much people, and was moved with compassion toward them, because they were as sheep not having a shepherd. And he began to teach them many things. And when the day was now far spent, his disciples came unto him and said, this is a desert place, and now the time is far past. Send them away so that they may go into the country round about and into the villages and buy themselves bread, for they have nothing to eat. He answered and said unto them, give ye them to eat. I can imagine the disciples would have been like, give ye them to eat. Do you see this multitude? Then is verse 38. He said unto them, how many? No, sorry, verse 37. He answered and said unto them, give ye them to eat. And they say unto him, shall we go and buy 200 penny worth of bread and give them to eat? He said unto them, how many loaves have you? Go and see. And when they knew, they said, 5 and 2 fishes. And he commanded them to make all to sit down by companies upon the green grass. And they sat down in ranks by hundreds and by fifties. And when he had taken the 5 loaves and 2 fishes, he looked up to heaven and blessed it, and brake the loaves, and gave them to his disciples to set before them. And the 2 fishes divided him among them all. And they did all eat and were filled. And they took up 12 baskets full of the fragments and of the fishes. And they that did eat of the loaves were about 5,000 men. About 5,000 men. What Jesus cannot do does not exist. And straightway he constrained his disciples to get into the ship and to go to the other side before unto Bethsaida, while he sent away the people. And when he had sent them away, he departed into a mountain to pray. And when he even was come, the ship was in the midst of the sea already, and he alone on the land. And he saw them toiling in rowing, for the wind was contrary unto them. And about the 4th watch of the night, he cometh unto them walking upon the sea, and would have passed by them. So Jesus was not even trying to say, oh, let me walk on water to catch up with them and we can get to where we're going to. Jesus was going to walk on water to his destination. Like, you will join me when you're done with this drama. But when they saw him walking upon the sea, they supposed it had been a spirit, and cried out. For they all saw it, like, yay, we are finished. I knew this storm was a sign that there is evil on this water. Now we are seeing illusion. Pardon the Yoruba woman. Now they were seeing spirits. Also they thought. But when Okay, verse 50. For they all saw him and were troubled, and immediately he talked to them and said unto them, Be of good cheer, it is I, be not afraid. And he went up unto them into the ship, and the wind ceased, and they were so amazed in themselves beyond measure and wondered. For they considered not the miracle of the loaves, for their hearts were hardened. How did they not consider the miracle of the loaves? This guy just fed 5,000 people, 5,000 men, and then innumerable women and children with 5 loaves of bread and 2 fish. Verse 53. And when they had passed over, they came into the land of Gennesaret and drew to the shore. And when they were come out of the ship, straightway they knew him and ran through that whole region round about and began to carry about in beds those that were sick, where they heard he was. And whithersoever he entered into villages or cities or country, they laid the sick in the streets and besought him that they might touch, if it were but the border of his garment, the hem of his garment. And as many as touched him were made whole. May God bless the reading of his word. Two things I want to point out. See how Mark did not mention the Peter part. Mark did not mention that, Peter had said, Lord, if it is you, ask me to come out. And, Peter walked on water. That's one thing. I think when we started the book of Mark, I was saying how, what you do with the four gospels is not to say, oh, there are inconsistencies. Oh, why did this person say this and this person did not say that? Oh, if this person said this, does that mean this did not happen? No. The four gospels, remember, are eyewitness accounts. So they were saying things from their different perspectives and documenting what they thought was relevant or important. Right? Second thing I noticed from this chapter is how you realize that the two times when Jesus was with them and they were at sea and, troubled sea, Jesus originally had no intention of calming the sea. So the time when they were traveling, I think we'll still read about it later in Mark, but we read it in Matthew. They were traveling in the boat with Jesus, and then there was a storm, and it said the water was already entering the boat. Water was the Matthew said it was already full. And they went to wake him up because this guy was sleeping. Like, guy, do you not care that we perish? And he was like, oh, ye of little faith. Like, he had no intention of calming the sea. Yes, he got up and said, peace be still. But originally, you can see he was going to sleep through that entire journey. And they would have gotten to their destination fine. They would have not sunk. This one too, he had no intention of joining them. He was just going to walk past them and go to where he was going. But they saw him and they were like, hey, spirit, hey, we are finished. And he was like, guys, calm down. And as soon as they entered the boat, the storm was calm. So even if Jesus did not join them, even if he didn't calm the storm, they would have gotten to the other end fine. Um, I hope you enjoyed reading the Bible with me tonight. Please share with me thoughts that crossed your mind. Thank you, Christiana, for always reading with me and sharing your thoughts as we read. Please, even if you're watching this as a replay, drop your thoughts in the comments. That's even much better, right? Because we can come back and see your comments afterwards. Drop your comments, click the subscribe button, click the notification bell so that you'll be notified every single time we are live. See you tomorrow. Tomorrow we'll be reading day 59. Have a lovely, lovely, lovely night rest.